Hello everyone and welcome back to Final Fight. I bet you didn't expect to see Guy here. While Guy is not available in the original SNES version, he is available in Final Fight Guy, which was released a year later. It's the same game, it just has Guy in it. Guy is my favorite of all three of the original Final Fight characters because he is the most maneuverable, and maneuverability is the most important thing in this game. Also, he has the longest combo of all three, which makes it much more satisfying. What I did just now was string a throw directly into my combo, which is a thing you can do. It's important because you can't always stop punching an enemy to turn around and deal with someone else. So you just throw them while you're punching. These two big guys we're beating up on, Andor and Andor Jr., are based on Andre the Giant. That might have been obvious, I'm not sure, but they are. They're the toughest enemies early in the game because of their ability to charge right at you and jump in the air to hit you while you're still down. Hopefully we won't have to see that second one. Just busting into the club like nobody's business. While we're talking about enemy types, Hollywood throws knives and he can slide underneath you to knock you down. You can also punch his knives out of the air. And of course he leaves some behind for you. Other than that, he's just got the basic punch, same as the more ordinary looking goons. Oh, I said earlier that I thought food refilled your health completely. That is not true. I do not know why I thought that. This section right here in the club is basically just throwing every single enemy you fought so far at you before something kinda big happens. But it's really only big if we don't know how to cheese it, which of course we do. These other big guys are a bit like Andor, but they don't do the whole jump in the air thing, and you can't really smack them out of their run. I mean, unless you've got a pipe. But if you don't have a pipe, your best defense against them is jump kicks. But, we do have a pipe, so we're kind of just beating everyone down into the corner. It's amazing how much difference a weapon makes in these battles. What great comedic timing, Andor Jr. Sometimes Andor Jr. spawns in here, and sometimes he doesn't. Thankfully he spawned this time. I'm not really sure what could trigger a glitch like that. The one downside to Guy, as you're seeing here, is that he takes a while to get rid of enemies, but I think he more than makes up for it. Maneuverability is by far more important. So after that, we're forced into a ring to fight Uncle Andor and Father Andor, the Andor Elders, you could say. Now you might see these weapons on the ground and think, well that's nice, that should make it easier. That's a lie. It's all a big lie. If you want to survive the fight, this is how you do it. You create a wall of fist by repeatedly smashing the punch button. If you want to survive, this is what you do. I have tried many other methods over and over and over, they are all lies. It's either this or you buy a turbo controller, and if you buy a turbo controller, then you're a cheating monster. You may see some people telling you that you can trap them with jump kicks. This is true, but it takes longer, and if you're not careful, they will grab you right out of the jump. We're playing to win. So as we exit the club, we're treated to a full health recovery. Right up here. Right after this dude tries to ambush us. I have lost my last bit of health to that guy. So from here on, things may seem pretty straightforward, but the game actually does something pretty interesting with its level design. These cars in the background aren't just for decoration, they actually limit our plane of movement. And what more is there to do in a game with 3D combat than to mess with the 3D combat? The game is really adamant about us moving forward. It keeps saying go, but I don't want to move until we deal with everybody, because the less enemies we have to deal with at once, the better. That was a little embarrassing. This part of the stage is interesting because you're kind of trapped in this little wedge up here while the enemies come up from the bottom. It makes it really easy for them to sandwich you. Of course, though, that's exactly the kind of situation the desperation attack was made for. Yeah, that, except I wasted it. A lot of beat-em-ups have a desperation attack, which allows you to clear out all the enemies around you at the expense of some of your health. If used properly, you'll save more health than you waste, but if you spam it, well, you're gonna die much faster. Up here we have Billy and Sid, who are replaced with... Oh, 2P, please. 2P and his variants are nasty little suckers who zip around like mosquitoes and then take quick jabs at you. Ironically, they're one of the most dangerous enemies. Like I was saying earlier, here are Billy and Sid, who are a replacement for Roxy and Poison. Their only notable attack is that they flip in the air to either land behind you or on top of you. That second one is much worse, because it clears out a whole half your health bar. If you stand still though, usually they'll land behind you. Up here we have Eddie, and he was chewing gum. He was about to spit it out, but no, we're not going to let him spit it out. He's going to choke on it. Eddie is a corrupt and cowardly police officer. He uses his power as a police officer to further the Mad Gear's goals, and he never fights hand-to-hand. He always has a gun. He also has a blackjack, which has a farther range than our punches, which is why we're positioning ourselves at an angle, so he has to come at us diagonally. Eddie is one of my favorite bosses because he's the most tricky. You have to stay close range, otherwise he'll shoot at you with his gun, but if you get too close, he'll just smack you. After you get him down to his last health bar, he just starts to run away, and if you stand still too long, he'll shoot at you, but he's not going to go on the offensive. He's rather easy to deal with when he does this, because we just have to cut him off during his running cycle. See you later, Eddie.